In Foley, Alabama, we're ready for the second game of the Sunbelt women's soccer semifinals. Coastal Carolina taking on the Georgia Southern Eagles. Welcome inside our booth, everybody. Drew Felios alongside former United States national team member Lori Lindsay. Both Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina on Wednesday getting upsets to get here to the semifinals. Lori, these are great stories.
Yeah, both lower seeds, both fighting to the end on Wednesday and both finding themselves in the semifinal match here tonight.
All right, for the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina, it was goals by a couple unsung heroes. They needed one. They were trailing, and then Laura Dabner came up big for the Chanticleers, and then the game went all the way to overtime. Mackenzie Gibbs makes it a final. Chanticleers advance.
Yeah, Dabner coming off the bench and doing such a remarkable stuff for Coastal Carolina, and then Gibbs, who we don't talk about much, but came up huge for the final goal in OT.
Kayla Christian, she's going to move up tonight to that forward spot. How's she going to affect the game?
Yeah, I like Kayla Christian a lot. She was active, running up players, making things happen for her Georgia Southern, and just getting after it, and that's what you want to see in these championship games.
All right, let's talk about the Eagles. From Georgia Southern, coming from Statesboro, what a night for Sarah Price. The senior comes out of nowhere, gets two huge goals to take down Troy. She'll be a big key tonight.
Yeah, they've been waiting all year for her to break out of her shell, and this is what they got on Wednesday night. Two huge goals. She should be riding high tonight, full of confidence.
Can the Eagles ride the fever into this semifinals and punch their ticket to Sunday at a date with South Alabama? Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern. It's next on ESPN3.
At First Bank & Trust, we're out to make your personal banking and business banking easier, to help make your life a little easier with a better banking experience that's designed to make saving, borrowing, buying, growing, and building a whole lot easier. At First Bank & Trust, we're the bank that's easy to do business with. So switch to First Bank & Trust, the local bank who makes saving, borrowing, buying, growing, and building easier. First Bank & Trust, making banking easier for you.
You know when you taste a great cup of coffee. You know it as soon as you pick it up. You smell it. You know, an aroma that smells great. It kind of captures my imagination. It's a flavor impression that follows all the way through till right now. You know, till 30 seconds after that sip of coffee, you get this rich, smooth flavor. This is a great cup of coffee.
Golden Flake bracket looks like this. South Alabama has advanced to the championship with a 4-0 win over Little Rock, and now Coastal Carolina, the 7th seed, and Georgia Southern, the 6th seed, ready to battle here in Foley. The Eagles will wear the white jerseys tonight, and the Chanticleers will wear the black and the teal. There's the starting lineup for Coastal. Kayla Christian up top. Atterbury is the goalie. Gashel in the back, tremendous with Bostic. And that is our First Bank & Trust starting lineup for Coastal. And head coach Brian Dunleavy leads Georgia Southern tonight with Bradham up top alongside Price. There's the back, Gustafson, Adams, Jones, and Sendra. They'll be big tonight here, Lori. Underway in Foley. An absolutely perfect night on the pitch here in Southern Alabama for the Eagles and the Chanticleers. Georgia Southern has been solid, especially second half of the season. 5-2-1 in their last 8 matches. On Sunday, they were routed by Troy, at Troy, by a count of 5-0. They shook that off, came here to Foley focused and ready, and took down Troy in the quarters. Coastal Carolina trying to go to work here early and trying to get an early shot on goal, and they're going to have a corner kick here right out of the gates. This Coastal team, even though they're a 7th seed, Paul Hogan knows that this team has their best soccer still left in them. A team very young. Last season made it all the way to the Sunbelt Championship game. This season, a lot of bumps in the road, but he still feels, even though they're young, they can make it happen this week.
Yeah, I was impressed by them on Wednesday night. Keeping possession, dictating the tempo of the game, and here they are with a great start, already getting a corner kick. already getting a corner kick and almost an opportunity on goal in this first couple minutes of the game.
Ball went right across the 6 that time. And now Smichinski with the entry. Karen Shack cleans it up for the Eagles. Lauren, a sophomore goalkeeper out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, thrust into the starting role last year. This year she's looked much more at home, and the Eagles have benefited. Coastal will play the 4-4-2 tonight. Big win over Texas State. And overtime on Wednesday. Did not start well, but certainly finished well. As Kayla Christian with the cross, and they're getting some nice looks. The Chanticleers are here in the opening minutes. Heston Neal getting the start tonight. Number 24 just handled it right there for Coastal. She's a sophomore midfielder out of Prince Frederick, Maryland. Rodriguez taps it out of bounds. There you take a look at Brian Dunleavy. Feels like his team matches up well with the Chanticleers. But overall, has talked about the learning process it has been to move up in conference and up in class, as Georgia Southern has done over the last 5 years going into the Sunbelt. The challenges that the league presents certainly has been a tough transition at times for the Eagles, but looking more and more at home here this year after finishing 11th in 2016.
Yeah, he said on Wednesday night that he finally felt like they got back to the way that they can play, the team spirit that they know they have, the team work ethic, playing together, and so we'll see if they can replicate that again tonight.
Nicole Lawson, nice touch for the Eagles. Bradham now handles it atop the 18 before Coastal is able to clear it the other way. Now Kayla Christian with tremendous speed along that left side. She can just outrun you as she's doing right now. It's a nice ball there inside the box, and now back out to Kayla. It's extremely warm at 4 p.m., so you saw it kind of take a little bit out of the legs of Little Rock as the game went on. It was a little humid down on the pitch. Not the case here tonight. So I think as far as stamina, Lori, it's going to be a little bit easier on these players later on in the game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It really did take a toll, especially on Little Rock earlier today. But tonight, perfect weather, perfect conditions if you're a footballer, and it's just time to get after it. Whoever wins this game gets to the championship game, and that's what you work so hard for all season.
Now it's Oliver trying to keep it alive. Eagles come up to clear it. Coastal Carolina very laid back here this week. After the win against Texas State on Wednesday, they went back to the hotel. They busted out the s'mores, and they had a cookout with their neighbors in the Sunbelt at App State. Had a great time at the hotel. Coach Hogan making sure that his team not just plays well here, but really enjoys the opportunity of playing in a great tournament like this.
Yeah, I love that story. I mean, a lot of times when you go into tournament play, you get caught up in everything that's involving with soccer, but sometimes you just need to take your mind off of it, relax a bit, know that all the preparation is done, and now it's just time to enjoy the experience. Nothing better than eating some more to enjoy the experience. I don't know why we weren't invited.
Maybe we should have a little s'more party of our own. That's a great idea. Of course, all the teams and officials and organizers of this great event will have tomorrow off and come back for the championship on Sunday afternoon. Will it be the Chanticleers or Eagles joining the party? Sendra now keeps it alive for Georgia Southern. And Coastal Carolina doing a good job of keeping the ball on this half here so far. Here's Sarah Price, the superstar from the other night. Made two of the best plays that we have seen through 5 games in this tournament so far. Whistle sends it the other way. Now Brianna Oliver, the freshman from Woodbridge, Virginia, puts it on the ground. Coastal Carolina struggled as they came in here to Foley. They had lost 3 games straight. And then one of the most unfortunate stories that we heard from any of our teams, they missed out on their senior day as South Carolina State, their opponent on that day, failed to field a team. So Coastal was not able to send off their seniors in style the way they wanted to. As now you see a player down on the field. Looks like she was struck in the sternum area, and this has the Chanticleer bench a little concerned. Take one more look.
Oh, yeah, just a hard hit. Knocks the wind out of her. Having a hard time breathing now, it looks like.
That was the same type of shot that Corey Dixon took for South Alabama, the one that targeted her ribs in the latter part of the second half of the Jaguars' victory. So Mackenzie Gibbs, the player who scored the goal for Coastal Carolina to advance the Chanticleers to this point, is helped off. Gabby Smiczynski collecting now for the Chanticleers. Tried to sneak a pass in there. Too much traffic. Paige Hoover, the interception. Hoover, the player that really makes this Georgia Southern engine go. Now Sarah Price. Price, nifty, dribbling. Now Sarah trying to get an angle and cut off just at the last second, just as she approached the 18. Eagles now trying a little flick. Ball inside the 18, the shot taken. And this one's going to whiz right to the right. Good idea. So finally some noise made from the Eagles offense. Saw Sarah Price on that last exchange. This is a player that is an Arkansas transfer. Struggled a little bit for Georgia Southern this year, but has really found her way. Number 4.
Yeah, and
that shot taken was by Frida Bradham.
This is a good look by Georgia Southern. Their first opportunity on goal, get a little flick on, and then try to place it in the far corner, and unfortunately it just goes wide.
Here comes service. And this one knocked out by the Chanticleers. Ashton Adams, the junior, tosses it in. Tell you what, the tempo of this game right now, pretty good. Kayla Christian trying to beat the defense now. Kayla, left-footed shot, and it's in! Coastal Carolina strikes first.
Well, this isn't totally unexpected. They leave Christian up there 1v1. She gets on the ball, starts running at players like she loves to do, and then finds herself at the top of the box and able to slip one home far post.
The work rate of Kayla Christian speaks for itself. Coach Paul Hogan of Coastal knew that she'd be a tough matchup if he moved her up, and it has paid dividends here early, Lori.
Yeah, I think if you're Georgia Southern, though, you got to be careful because they're dropping so far deep. Their defenders are dropping deep, allowing Christian to pick up the ball in their half or right on the top of the center line and then start to run at players. If they step up, they can deny her the ball or being able to turn and dribble.
So the Eagles down a goal. If you're Georgia Southern, good news is you were down a goal the other night to Troy. Another outstanding team. You were able to come back, win it 2-1. So they're not unfamiliar with this position. Nice ball by Price and hurried up, collected by Atterbury. Here's Family now trying to outrun Hannah Smith as Smith goes down, and it's going to be a goal kick coming up. How about Family, though? Daniela Family, we expected her to be at the top of her game this week. The senior from Stockholm, Sweden, second team all Sunbelt performer. How do you think she's played, Lori?
Yeah, a bit quiet on Wednesday, especially for having 9 goals, 5 assists on the season. But tonight, already active, showing for the ball, just seeing her getting that through ball now, chasing that down. So already seems like she's wanting to get on the ball a little bit more than she did on Wednesday night.
Such a versatile talent, scores, passes, can hold the ball, can do it all. The heart and soul of this Chanticleer's team. Coastal Carolina, that was their 26th goal of the season, the one by Christian. They've conceded 26 as well. Georgia Southern, meanwhile, has scored 23 goals this year. Eagles not a particularly high-scoring team. Family can have a good ball to work with here. Christian right behind her. Collects it. Outside the 18. Here's the cross and a blast just high.
Well, I love this first 15 minutes for Coastal Carolina. They're switching the point of attack. They're finding space to move the ball, combine passes, mixing up between short passes and longer passes. And here we see Family and Christian up top, interchanging, getting on the end of the ball and getting good crosses in.
It seems like in this first 15, Lori, everything is with a purpose.
We saw that on Wednesday night, too. I was really impressed by them on Wednesday. I didn't think they were going to keep possession as much as they did, and I think that's how they were able to win and get into the semifinal game. Composure on the ball, again, switching the point of attack, being patient when it was time to go forward.
Well, for a while they were frustrated, trailing 1-0 to Texas State, and I remember where you kind of turned to me and said, this Coastal team's going to win this game, and they did just that.
The only thing that I would be concerned about if I was Coastal Carolina is their back line seems to drop so early, and if they're not careful, it's going to start to give number 14, Bradham, some time and opportunities to get the ball into her feet, turn and run at them, and they're going to be so stretched. So if they can step up a little bit more, not give so much room, hasn't hurt them yet, but as the game goes on and Bradham and some of the other Georgia Southern players get on the ball, I think it could cause issues.
Here's a long ball right up on top of the goal. It's Karen Check. Got off her feet that time. There's our officials. Brian Marshall doing a good job tonight. Jennifer Politz, Joe Kirkpatrick as well, and Rebecca Friedrich on the crew. Foley Sports Tourism Complex, a area here in Foley that is developing. Second year we've been here and looks completely different than it did a year ago. Great place to visit, great attractions, lots under construction in this area. and proud hosts of the Sunbelt Soccer Championship. Coastal Carolina right now on top of Georgia Southern 1-0. Junique Rodriguez. Coastal playing with great tempo. Ball intercepted, though, by the Eagles. And now Hannah Smith working upfield.
So much room in the midfield. If you notice, both teams' back lines really stretched out. There's tons of room in the midfield. I think they need to close the gap a little bit. It's going to be hard to get any sort of pressure, no matter which team you are, to get pressure on the ball in the midfield. It's going to be hard to close them down defensively if they're not careful.
Gabby Smicinski will toss it in for the Chanticleers. Hoover sends it back. Hannah Smith handling now. Kayla Christian does not stop running for Coastal Carolina. She is something else. Georgia Southern team has been banged up from day one. In fact, if you were to count the amount of ACL injuries, you get to the number 5 in one season. That is an awful lot. They've had to play through it and battle through it. It's presented a lot of challenges.
That's one thing that Coach Dunleavy talked about. They do have a thin roster, only 19 players on this roster. He said if we give Coastal Carolina too much time on the ball, we're going to be chasing, and it's going to be a long night for us, especially not having many players coming off the bench.
Atterbury now, the freshman out of Aurora, Colorado. Really been a calming influence on Coastal. Just a freshman in goal tonight. Mackenzie Gibbs back in the game for the Chanticleers after taking one to the ribs early on. Eagles now attacking. Here's Bradham. Bradham fires one off, and barely a save by Atterbury.
Well, this is a fantastic chance. Watch how Bradham just turns quickly and without even looking fires a shot. Luckily, the goalkeeper gets a few fingers on it. That's what she'll do. She'll be quiet, and then all of a sudden she'll get a good shot on goal or an opportunity that...
Frida Bradham puts in a good spot. Eagles getting airborne. Unable to direct into the goal. Bradham trying to force another corner kick here. Instead, the Eagles will throw it in. And again, it's Atterbury. Just get the sense that Georgia Southern's going to have several opportunities tonight.
Yeah, the more you let them play, the more they stay in the game, the more their confidence rises. We saw that Wednesday. They're hanging around, and ultimately got that goal in OT.
Now it's Rodriguez. Rodriguez, open field, and trying to run to it. It's Bradham. Just couldn't get there in time. Good idea, though, by Rodriguez. Eagles starting to win some balls now. Adams. Adams coming back to it. Trying to get a service on. Georgia Southern trying to create a lane. Price fired it off a defender. And now Mackenzie Gibbs clearing for Coastal. Kayla Christian, look at her run to it. Now it's Family, the orchestrator. Hoover clears. Eagles again, getting white jerseys ahead. Sarah Price. Price heading to the left side. Had a half step on the defender and another corner kick.
And this is good by Georgia Southern, getting the ball to Price, allowing her to take 1v1. We saw that on Wednesday night. She does a great job running at the defender and then getting the corner kick here.
Everybody will get set now for the in-swinger, Frida Bradham. Sophomore from Oslo, Norway. She's got 5 goals this year and 2 assists with that. Shauna clears. Get it ahead to Christian. 2 defenders are back for Georgia Southern, now make it 3. Christian sends it to the other side where Mackenzie Gibbs hustles over. Nothing doing.
A good start by both teams, but I feel like both teams are pretty stretched. Again, I made the point earlier about the back lines dropping so early, leaving so much room in the midfield. They really need to close the gap, otherwise both teams are just going to be running back and forth. They've already have 1 game under their belt. One of these teams is going to be going to the championship. They need to figure out a way that they can save their legs, but also dictate tempo, keeping the ball, making sure they get some goals in the back of the net.
Abby Gashel fires this one towards the goal. It sends Karinchak backpedaling, but she reels it in. And the score stays 1-0. Here at the Sunbelt Soccer Semifinals, Drew Felios alongside Lori Lindsay. Former Virginia Cavalier, also played for the United States women's national team. Sunbelt Soccer has come down to this, 2 games to crown a champion. The winner tonight will take on South Alabama in the final on Sunday. Now it's Hoover. Inside the center circle, sends it out. Junique Rodriguez. I really like what she brings to the field. Nicole Austin lost it. That's a fun battle. Austin and Oliver going at it for Coastal. Kayla Christian.
I like what Coastal Carolina is trying to do, though. They're trying to keep the ball, then look in behind to find Family or Christian up top. But final pass just not on point right now. They can slow it down, maybe 1 or 2 more passes. I think they'll be able to create more chances.
Keep in mind there's 11 teams suiting up in the Sun Belt. 3 teams did not make it here. Those teams, Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana Lafayette, and also Georgia State. Georgia State always solid on the men's side. The women's side, not so much. Last year, this Georgia Southern team was one of those teams left out. In 11th place. Had to completely rebuild things, get players refocused. And Sarah Price, the Arkansas transfer, was really the centerpiece, the one that tried to kind of take it all on her shoulders at the start of the season. Sometimes did too much, other times perhaps not enough. It was so great to see her come through on Wednesday night twice to take down Troy. Bradham. There's the cross in and played by the back line of Coastal. Get one more try. This one just to the right. And here's a very interesting sub, Lori. Lauren Dabner will enter. She is the transfer from Texas Tech who looked really fabulous on Wednesday.
Yeah, she only played 13 minutes, got a goal, but as soon as she came in, she changed the game, gave Coastal Carolina that little extra oomph they needed. I really like her. I'm surprised she doesn't play more minutes.
Coach Hogan said trying to work her in more and more. Now Coastal possessing and attacking. Kayla Christian waits for her teammates to catch up very smartly, then fires it to the other side of the field. And now it'll be a throw in for Coastal. Here's Brianna Oliver. Sandra wins it. And now Karen Chack will send it downfield. Oliver trying to weave through traffic, and now Coastal will possess. Shot declares. Bit of a lane. There's Dabner, player who just checked in. Good passing now, and a shot taken. This is a blast. And Karen Chack, deep breath on the Georgia Southern side. That ball was hammered.
Yeah, this is a good shot, and why not? If you have time and space, no one's stepping up on you. That's what we've been talking about so far all game, is that the back lines are just dropped too far. Hard to get pressure on the midfield. Why not crack a shot from 20 yards out?
Here comes Brogan Boudreau, another substitute for Georgia Southern that had a huge impact Wednesday night. In fact, Coach Brian Dunleavy said it was Boudreau who kind of changed the dynamic of the Eagles. Frida Bradham now comes out. She'll get a quick break. Game like this could very well come down to role players. Coastal Carolina relies so heavily on them. And Georgia Southern with a player like Boudreau. Freshman midfielder out of St. Mary's, Georgia. Whistle on the field. Ashton Adams will set it up for the Eagles. So our first goal scored by Kayla Christian, the player we talked about in the open. Using her speed to make it happen, putting Coastal on top. 1-0. And a corner kick now coming up for Georgia Southern. Sandra heads over to the far side. The Spaniard now will put it in place. This is a nice ball just outside the 6. As several Eagles went airborne, it goes out of bounds.
Not a bad look. I think they maybe should try to mix it up, play a short ball, see if they can draw any of those Coastal Carolina players out of the box, and then whip one in from there.
Lori, I've got one overall critique of the play that we have seen so far. You ready?
Ready.
I'm a little befuddled. We have not seen just a good goal coming off a corner in any of the games in our tournament.
You're exactly right. I mean, especially with all the coaches that have talked to us about height advantage for certain teams, set pieces being a big part of their attack, and we haven't really seen anything that's been too concise in terms of being able to pull any sort of corners or nice set pieces off. A lot of things just floated into the box, hoping that somebody can get on the end of it.
Seen some rebounds, seen some breakouts. Set pieces, though, have not really been a strong point from any of our teams. Gashel sends it in now. Coastal with Kayla Christian. Christian looking really good tonight. Trying to get through the last line of that defense, cut off just atop the 18.
Christian is looking good. She's getting on the ball. I will say, though, if I'm Georgia Southern, though, I don't want her to be on the ball. That's one player that they said that they want to keep an eye on, that she can be super dangerous. But too many times already, she's already turned, received the ball into her feet, turned and running at them. Step up, deny her the ball, and it's going to make it so much easier on your team to attack from winning those balls going forward.
Heston Neal sends it back now. Neal very patient. Now it's family. Daniela family. Coach Paul Hogan says, in my mind, the best player in the Sunbelt. Gashel trying to knife her way through. And now here comes Smiczynski to win it. Coastal able to keep the ball. Georgia Southern looking a little stagnant here on this possession. Coastal attacking again. Family dials one up. What a strike by Daniela Family.
Well, this is a spectacular strike, but honestly, Coastal Carolina is doing a great job of getting the ball, taking good strikes, but really Georgia Southern needs to step up. I've said it so many times, but they're just allowing them to play, allowing them to turn and receive and do whatever they want on the ball. So it's no surprise that they're down 2-0 at this point in time.
Just possession right now for Coastal, you think, just coming a little bit too easily, huh?
I think it's too easy. There's not enough pressure on the ball. They need to. Georgia Southern needs to step up, get pressure on the ball in the midfield. Right now, they're making it really difficult for their midfield to be able to do that, though, because their back line's dropping so much. And here we see Christensen, another goal.
Unbelievable. Just like that, the Chanticleer starting to bust it open.
And the only thing is that not only does it make it hard for you to get pressure on the ball if your back line keeps dropping, but when your back line keeps dropping, you're always keeping these top players such as Family or Christian on side. So they don't have to think about the runs that they're making. They just receive it to their feet and then slot it past the goalkeeper.
How about Kayla Christian? She has been flying all over this field tonight. And now the Superstars will head out of the game for the Chanticleers with a 3-0 cushion.
Well, if you're Georgia Southern, just remember why you're here. Settle down, try to string some few passes together. Make sure you get a little bit tighter defensively, step up your back line, be able to apply pressure, and see if you can get a goal back within the next 5 minutes. They've seen quite a bit of the ball. It's just about executing. They're giving too much respect to some of these forwards on Coastal Carolina.
Definitely not going to get it back in one stroke. If you're Georgia Southern, got to have one at a time here. No need to panic just yet. Still lots of soccer to be played, but this one's not going to be easy. Ashton Adams trying to send it in. And now a little bit of frustration building on the Eagles side. The Eagles attacking from the right. Got to have something good happen here. Tried to switch fields with it. It sails above everybody. That's amazing in this game, Lori, how in just a moment or two, things can just totally go awry.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, though, if the other team's giving you so much room to do whatever you want. I think that's what we're seeing tonight, sort of on both ends as well. I think if Georgia Southern was able to get on the ball a little bit more, we'd see them wrecking havoc on the back line for Coastal Carolina as well, because Coastal Carolina at the same time is dropping really deep as well. That's why we're seeing so much space in the midfield for these players to do whatever. And right here, this number 11, Coastal Carolina is able to turn off a throw-in with no pressure on.
Good passing now by the Chanticleers. Coming up to make her presence felt, Madeline Jones in the back line for the Eagles. Trevina Hilton is also in the game for Georgia Southern, number 24, right there with her back to us. Trevina, only a freshman, youngest player on the field tonight, only 17 years old, playing in this semifinal. Coastal ball. Right now, Chanticleer sitting pretty with 9 minutes to play in regulation before intermission. Now it's Hilton. Ball taken away. Tries to get it back for her team. Brogan Bedreau. Good job with Hilton. Hilton now trying to let one go. And it sails out of bounds. Alana McShane will check in now for the Eagles.
Georgia Southern doing a good job, though. Still going at it. Still trying to press. Trying to find that goal. I like how they're not just letting off the brakes and saying there's no more to this game.
Nicole Lawson comes out for the Eagles. Georgia Southern has certainly had chances, just not as sharp in that final third so far as the Chanticleers have been. And it's so important in championships like this to just have finishers. And I think Kayla Christian came out with that mentality here tonight. Price can certainly be one for the Eagles, but she just took a shot on that last sequence, and she's a little shaken up right now.
Yeah, Christian definitely came out with a ton of fire, getting after it. She's the type of player that you can tell that wants to win this championship, wants to get her team into the championship game. And that's what you need when it comes down to it. It doesn't matter what's happened in the regular season. It doesn't matter what seed you are. It's about players wanting to dig deep, get after it, and win the championship for their team.
There's the goal so far. Christian in the 10th minute getting Coastal on the board, then Family with a blast outside the 18, and Kayla Christian again. Her second goal of the night. Coastal Carolina looking much more comfortable here than they did on Wednesday. Same thing could be said for South Alabama. They looked a little sluggish in that first round game over App State. Coastal did the same against Texas State. Remember, they were trailing 1-0 for most of the game. It'd be ironic if Coastal could get to the championship again. It would be a rematch of the final from last year. This team much younger, but arguably more overall talent than Coach Hogan's team had a season ago.
They are a good team, and they have a lot of tools. They can possess the ball, they can switch to the point of attack, which we've already seen here tonight, and then they have some lethal weapons up top with Christian and Family. So they definitely have it all. Just a matter of finding all those pieces, putting them together, especially against good teams like South Alabama if they get there on Sunday afternoon.
Substitutions now. Bailey Price in for Coastal. Maddie Clintworth comes in for Georgia Southern. Clintworth quickly gets involved. Corner kick coming up. Eagles don't get the call. Hilton thought she had it deflected off of a Chanticleer, but the official didn't see it that way. Ashton Adams now will give it a ride. Chanticleer is playing it in the midfield. And if you're Coastal Carolina right now, Lori, what is the rush?
Now, if you're Coastal Carolina right now, you're riding high. You're happy with taking the chances that you've taken, scoring the goal, 3 goals, and it's just about keeping possession, choosing your times, when to go forward. Similar to what we were saying in the last game with South Alabama and Little Rock. For South Alabama, it's like you've scored your goals. Now just dictate the tempo, save your legs. Can you create your chances by breaking them down with little short passes and then finding the feet of your forwards?
Kendall Parks, good sequence for the Chanticleers. And now Kylie Bostic, the sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia. With a set piece now, Bailey Price, right side. Price, corner kick, well done. Brianna Oliver now in the corner. Brianna, another freshman, playing here in Foley for the first time. Outswinger.
Ooh.
Good deflection. Just a little bit high. Great idea. Claire Amici in for Georgia Southern. Madeline Jones heads out. Tell you what, Lori, I think overall the two games we've seen so far, the mentality to finish is so much stronger than it was in the first round. Would you agree?
I totally agree. I mean, I think the weather's better. It's not nearly as windy, which played a huge factor in the games on Wednesday. But at the same time, I think teams have settled in. They're feeling confident if they got here to the semifinal match. And players are really starting to get after it. And we're starting to see some of those bigger players that we expected to show up on Wednesday show up in this game.
Dabner now. Some fancy footwork for Coastal Carolina. Put another one in the air. This one sails to the right. Under a minute remaining in the first half. A tough first half for Georgia Southern. They've had some opportunities created, but unable to take advantage, and the defense has had some cracks.
Yeah, if I'm Georgia Southern, I'm going into halftime not too pleased with the way I've played this half. You know, they knew one of the big things was if Coastal Carolina gets on the ball and keeps possession, it was going to be a long night for them, and that's what we've seen. There's been too stretched. The back line's dropped too far, making it difficult for the midfielders to get any sort of pressure on the ball, and resulting in 3 goals for Coastal Carolina.
Final seconds of the first half. Coastal Carolina will go to intermission a very confident bunch. They put a 3 spot on the board. A couple goals from Kayla Christian and another from their superstar, Daniela Family. And that's where we stand. Halftime festivities coming up. Sunbelt Women's Soccer semifinal from Foley. We're back in a moment.
It's not a party without Golden Flake. Golden Flake snacks offer a wide variety of flavors to suit any occasion. Whatever you're feeling, there's a flavor for that. You can always count on an old favorite like Thin and Crispy or Sweet Heat Barbecue. But hey, why not try something new? Grab your friends, grab some sun, and grab some snacks. It's time for some Golden Flake.
Make no mistake about it, life's more fun with seafood.
Oysters don't swim.
They do in butter.
What'd you get? A little bit of everything to make everyone happy.
Acme Oyster House. Life really is more fun with seafood.
When you're looking for the perfect award or branding solution, look no further than Levy Marketing and Awards. A true innovator in the art of recognition, Levy Marketing and Awards is a U.S. custom awards manufacturer with over 50 years of experience providing guaranteed personal service and high-quality production catering to athletics and collegiate sports. Log on to LevyMarketingAwards.com or call toll-free 855-879-5389 to create your lasting impression today. Levy Marketing and Awards, providing streamlined solutions to meet all of our clients' business needs.
The 2017 Sunbelt Women's Soccer Championship is brought to you by Under Armour. Under Armour, protect this house. I will. Golden Flake, this South's original potato chip and the official potato chip of the Sunbelt Conference. First Bank and Trust, the official bank and credit card of the Sunbelt. And Amtrak, break the travel quo. Back here in Foley, 3-0 the score. Coastal Carolina controlling action in the first half over Georgia Southern here in the Sunbelt Women's Soccer semifinal. Welcome back, everybody. Drew Felios alongside Lori Lindsay. Georgia Southern had some chances, but Coastal Carolina took advantage of their chances. It's 3-0, but you really couldn't tell by the play. The difference is Coastal Carolina has just scored and made those shots count.
Yeah, not a ton of combinations, quite a bit of back and forth. The game's pretty stretched, and you're right. Coastal Carolina's just taking their chances.
All right, let's take a look at the regular season numbers, how these two teams fared. Coastal Carolina 4-5-1. Georgia Southern, exact same conference record. Overall, Coastal a little bit better. Still, though, because of what happened in conference play, Georgia Southern the higher seed. They're the 6th seed, Coastal the 7th seed.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina, though, tonight has been the better team. Again, not much difference in their overall or conference standings, but at the same time, I think Coastal Carolina has just, as the season gone on, progressed. They don't have as many injuries and just really taken it to Georgia Southern this first half.
Also, the superstars for Coastal have shown up. Daniela Family with the goal. Kayla Christian with a couple goals. Meanwhile, Sarah Price for Georgia Southern has not really been able to get into things yet.
Yeah, Georgia Southern just really respected Christian and Familia a little too much, giving them tons of room to turn and run at the defenders for Georgia Southern, and ultimately it's resulted in 3 goals.
All right, when we come back, we'll have much more from Foley. Take a look at halftime stats, and later on some highlights at the Sunbelt Women's Soccer Semifinal.
What if there was a car that allowed everyone to just let loose, even in traffic? There isn't. But there is Amtrak, with spacious seats, plenty of legroom, and a dining car. Break the travel quo with Amtrak.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, I think I will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, mange.
At First Bank and Trust, we're out to make your personal banking and business banking easier, to help make your life a little easier with a better banking experience that's designed to make saving, borrowing, buying, growing, and building a whole lot easier. At First Bank and Trust, we're the bank that's easy to do business with. So switch to First Bank and Trust, the local bank who makes saving, borrowing, buying, growing, and building easier. First Bank and Trust, making banking easier for you.
Don't let your summer vacation come to an end. Our sunny skies, tranquil ocean waters, and 60 miles of beautiful, stress-free beaches stretch well into the fall. Fall is the perfect time to visit, so take some time for you and let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Make no mistake about it. Life's more fun with seafood.
As a rule, you horseradish till you can't horseradish no more.
Rawsome. Move over.
Acme Oyster House. Life really is more fun with seafood.
The 2017 Sunbelt Women's Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Rhino, Community Coffee, taste the difference family makes. By Visit Myrtle Beach. Visit Myrtle Beach proudly supports the Sunbelt Conference. And NOLA Motorsports. Been a great week so far here in Foley. Through one half of play, Coastal Carolina trying to separate themselves from Georgia Southern. Look at the shots on goal. What are the main numbers that stand out to you, Lori?
Yeah, I would say the shots on goal. 8-4. It's not totally surprising with the amount of opportunities that Coastal Carolina has gotten here, but I think the 4 is surprising for Georgia Southern. I didn't really feel like they had many quality chances, but 4 chances in that first half when I wouldn't be incredibly proud of how I played if I was Georgia Southern is not bad odds.
Lauren Karenchak under fire. Kayla Christian getting free for a couple goals for Coastal Carolina. And that is the difference here so far. Which team will advance to take on South Alabama on Sunday, 1 o'clock here at the Foley Sports Tourism Complex. Shot to clear is right now 45 minutes away from a second berth and a Sunbelt championship. Sweet. So glad. No OT. No OT. That was a good chance there, man. Ooh, that was great footwork. Wow, that was pretty nasty. Oh, my gosh. That was pretty good.
But just like tons of room to run at them.
Yeah. Nothing doing there. Bam. This was awesome. Bam. Pull. Great goal.
See how much room?
Yeah.
That's a good play, though.
That's great.
Sunday's matchup will be good.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. God, we saw a lot of bad soccer on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much better today.
I'm a little, I didn't really think Georgia Southern had a great chance, but I'm just a little bit disappointed because, I mean, honestly, they're just creating this craziness for themselves.
Yeah.
If they would just step up, condense the field. It's going to be hard. They're going to have to play over the top behind them, and yeah, it's going to become a foot race. But if you're dropping at the right time, then you should be okay. But I just don't know if they have the quality to be able to do that. So.
Some of their athletes look like high school girls. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Just don't know.
15 seconds.
I mean, even between like South Alabama and then Georgia Southern, huge drop off.
Huge drop off. Huge, yeah.
5.
Both teams coming back out onto the field, and Coastal Carolina with smiles on their faces because they lead right now 3-0. Drew Felios, Lori Lindsay, here's how it got to that. The Chanticleers attacking and putting pressure on the Eagles. There's a shot there by Georgia Southern, but watch this. Kayla Christian, the great footwork.
Yeah, great footwork, doing what she does best, taking players on, slotting it far post. Great composure, great patience in the final third.
Chanticleers would go to work again, and even though they don't get goals on these sequences, still they have purpose every time.
Yeah, they've had a great opportunities, just varying up their attack. Some long-range shots, some dribbling at the defenders, and then these crosses, good opportunities as well, just not being able to execute.
When you're sending this many to the goal, eventually something's going to click. Watch this blast.
Yeah, this is a great strike by Famili. Again, though, just having so much room to be able to dribble at the defenders. No one steps up for pressure. Was able to hit it long ball into the goal.
Kayla Christian sneaks back again.
Yeah, Christian making some great runs. Her and Famili linking up. Dynamic duo up top. Doing a great job. Again, just being composed in front of the goal and slotting it home.
3-0 to score when we come back the second half. Can Georgia Southern make a run? We're about to find out. What's that?
I was just saying sorry.
Okay. I just want to say one thing. They sent me a text. It's a family, like family. We're all family. Daniela family. Yeah. I called her Famili on the first day, and they sent me a text.
Okay, cool. Yeah, family.
But
awesome.
just something of
No, that's good.
family. Series tied at 3-3-2. Last meeting. Georgia Southern won back on September 15th. Wow.